So this is those new little Zenons that I was talking about when people were asking on the channel about what reel it was that I would use. I've been waiting for these to come out for a while, and this is the new Abu Garcia Zenon. So very, very impressive little bit of gear. With 7 kilos of drag. I've got this one here. This is right, so the top of the line one, the Zenon MGLTX, is 11 bearings. It's got the spool sits on a couple of ceramic bearings, so for cast wise it's it casts like a bullet. Gear ratio is 8.3, 5 kilo of drag pressure. So for your finesse type fishing, you know, that's spot on. So they're around about that sort of $6.99 price tag. So they're the specs on the Zenon X. So it's a 10 bearing reel, 6.8 to 1 retrieve ratio, which is more up my alley. 15 pound or 7 kilos of drag pressure, so that's more than enough. We're only using 20 pound braid for doing the jacks and stuff. So, but these actually come in a little bit cheaper. So these are actually around about that 450. So that's all what I need for what I'm doing. But it's not that high magnesium alloy body on it, so the corrosion resistance is going to be a little bit better. So that's how it mounts up. I've got that sitting on one of the refractions. So this is the one that I'm going to be used for skip casting for jacks and barras and that. So that's the 12 to 16 pound refraction. But you can see how easy this thing casts. Like just insane. But I do like the sound of that. So it's got the drag clicker. Yeah, well, I do like that sound, but just effortless casting. Obviously, there's so many reels to choose from these days. You know, you've got to just pick the right one that's suited for you. There's left-hand winds down there as well. A lot of people love the left-hand wind. I hate it, even though I cast left-handed. I hate winding left-handed. Have a look at those little beauties there. So some of the considerations when you've got to take into account when you're picking one of these things, a bait caster of any description, is how easy it is to take down, so you can service yourself. But for casting light lures, the weight of the spool is a big consideration. The heavier the spool, the bigger the lure's got to be to cast. So this has got a super light spool in it. If you have a look at that there, that little sheath there comes out from the housing, and when the reel's upright like that, casting, water can't run down the side of the spool and then into your pinion bearing. So that's that little sleeve that comes out protects your bearing quite a bit, which is a good design. Used to be a big issue with some of the reels, but the fact that you can pull it apart and put it together so quick, a lot of your bait casters do that. But one thing I have noticed with the Abu stuff these days is the corrosion resistance. So their reels are least prone to corrosion of anything I've used so far. But 6.8 to 1 retrieve ratio is perfect for what I do as well. So I can't wait to put this thing on the water.